Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the fastest team possible for the Open Great League. This team has basically the fastest timing in terms of fast and charge moves here together, as the smallest one basically, like the longest time something can take, is the first Night Slash from Greninja. But totaling with the second Night Slash from Greninja is actually the fastest Pokemon in the entire game, with an average of I think 7.5 seconds to get to one charge move, which is like not second actually, 7.5 turns, which is 3.5 seconds, something like this one, to get to one charge move there, which is kind of ridiculous. So yeah, this Pokemon for sure is the fastest one of them all. And then for the other two slots, there are quite a lot of options. Every kind of Pokemon that has an energy generating move of 4.5 speed, which is quite a few, like Thunder Shock, like Fairy Wind, like Psycho Cut, like Poison Sting. And also you need to hit the requirement that you're going to have another charge move that's 35 energy. For example, here Morpeko having access to the move Psychic Fangs, or here Ariados having access to the move Cross Poison. And this team got buffed, of course, thanks to Morpeko having Thunder Shock, giving it a little bit of a buff this season. And this team was already really great the last time I used it, and so I kind of want to take a look at this one again. It's a very solid team even on paper, just based on the Pokemon that we use. There's a lot of play between them. I would not recommend you in a normal day-to-day thing to use Cross Poison Ariados. Cross Poison is, by the way, a poison type variant of Night Slash, which you see on Greninja as well, having the 12.5% chance to boost your own attack. In all the times we have tried to use it just for this kind of theme team here as well, I have never ever seen a boost from Cross Poison. Like there were several times where I used this move already with Ariados before. I've never gotten the boost. But yeah, it is what it is. And as you're going to see against the Diggersby, we're going to be able to go ahead and go for the Aura Wheel, get a ton of damage, go for the full farm down with Greninja. They can still go for another charge move against us. It is not going to be ideal, but let's take a look here at the team. The team was honestly fire. This team is so lovely. I love using the Morpeko Say Swap. It's especially good if you have a Pokemon Elite that's going to be very good against Fighting type Pokemon, what we have here as well with our Ariados. But also with other Dark type Pokemon in the back, where you kind of want to get out potentially a Fighting type Pokemon, because you have that Psychic type coverage. You're going to have a very solid time even against Fighters, which is really cool. So Morpeko Say Swap for this team is amazing, covering the Flying type weakness as well of Ariados. There are maybe some core brackets for the team as well, for example something like the Gliscor, but you don't really see it too often. And as you can see here, this battle is basically over at this point as well. They're gonna go for the Psychic Fangs, we can go for the full farm down with our Greninja, and that is going to be game. Next opponent, we're going to have a Horrible Elite, we're going to have the Hypno Elite. Actually, we would have a lunch for this Pokemon, but also we're going to have two Dark-type Pokemon in the back that double resist the fast move of the opponent. And Morpeko is also kind of good in this matchup because you don't actually have to use a shield here. You can use a shield if you want to, especially if you have already a boost like we have, but it's not really needed because at the end of the day, like they can only go for something like an Ice or Fire Punch against you, as the other moves would be kinda resisted usually, other than Focus Blast of course. So the charge moves are not really that threatening against Morpeko, while the fast move is double resisted, and so yeah, it is definitely a very solid matchup. And as you can see here as well, at this point, we are 2 shields up, we're going to get rid of our Morpeko, but we're going to have perfect alignment, and we're going to get a Cross Poison off against the opponent's Azumarill, which is really important because I cannot really afford having a Azumarill against our Greninja. Cross Poison is going to take the KO, we don't get the boost here of course, we're going to swap out into our Greninja, and here we have to use a shield because Thunder Punch would do quite a lot of damage. It is going to be a Thunder Punch, but while maybe the move of Cross Poison doesn't boost me a lot of times, the move of Night Slash surely can do that. And as you can see here, this team is honestly so much fun. You're most likely going to see it the next time Great League is available. This is like battles here literally at the end of the last Great League iteration. But yeah, this team is lovely, this team is great. I would recommend you to run this team here. It is a very fun team to use. It is, I don't know, like that's why I always kind of want to revisit this challenge here, because it is a lot of fun to run those type of teams. And as you can see as well, Night Slash going to get the KO there kind of, but the opponent actually forfeited beforehand. Talonflame is okay to deal with as well, but here we're going to see the Gaston coming in, which is quite the opposite of it. We're going to be able to go for the Psychic Fangs, and to be fair, I make a bit of a mistake here. The opponent decides to Never mind, actually can go for the charge move here. I should have went most likely for the Psychic Fangs there as well, but I was hoping the opponent would not count correctly. But at this point, the opponent has a shield down. I'm going to mostly use a shield here eventually as well. Actually, not on this Pokemon. Earth Power is coming through, that's fine. I can go for the launch. The opponent is going to be debuffed, but if I went for 2 Psychic Fangs, this move should actually knock the opponent out. But as you can see here, it barely is not enough, but we actually get a free fast move in, which most likely is just better. Greninja going up against the opponent's Talonflame is going to be fine, but sadly at this battle we're just going to get completely hardwalled, like literally from the beginning till the end, just a hardwall, hard counter matchup here. But it's okay, we're still going to try our best. If we would get a boost here, we would be still fine. We are not going to get a boost, and so yeah, sadly, it is just nothing I can do. Like literally, if you are in a scenario where the opponent never really has to go for charge moves because they can just farm you down, you know that you're definitely in a position where you are kind of screwed. I'm still gonna try to play it out because I have Cross Poison. I don't have like Trailblaze and Lunge, which are going to be both double resisted. I have Cross Poison against the Talonflame. I just want to see how much damage this actually does, which is actually very, very solid, like around 35% or something like this, very solid there. Jirachi. This Pokemon is actually kind of fun, but also my entire backline is going to be completely destroying this thing here. Like this Pokemon has no play against the backline. As you'll see here, they actually let the move go through and now sub onto the Azumarill, so I can go ahead and go for the Psychic Fangs, which doesn't really make too much sense. And I can just play this matchup out. Like as you're gonna see here as well, I do some solid damage with my fast move already, and I can use a shield here. And I can just spam Psychic Fangs. I think this is my best play. I can just, yeah, go ahead, go for Psychic Fangs. Here at this point, if they let the move go through, I can farm them down. If they use a shield, I'm still in a position where I just have to go for another Psychic Fangs, to be fair. I don't think there is really anything else the opponent can do here. Psychic Fangs coming through, going to be able to get that KO. In comes the next Pokemon. It's going to be the Feraligatr. I can boost my own attack again, hoping that the opponent thinks it's going to be just the Psychic Fangs as well here. They actually decided to use a shield, but I don't really care too much here about the scenario because we have the Greninja. We're going to be able to hardwall the Feraligatr. And at this point, the opponent forfeits and we can move on to the next opponent. Great lead. This is exactly what we kind of want to see here. We're going to have the Guzzlord against us in the lead. We have to definitely keep alignment. I always like to go straight for the lunge because it guarantees me to get either damage onto them or getting the shield, but also the Dragon Tail, which is coming through, already then going to be debuffed for the damage that it's going to do, which is going to be great. We let the move go through here and I can go for another one. I hope that they let the move go through as well, which would allow us to definitely have a better time later on, but they decide to actually swap out of here, and this is totally fine because now they're shieldless. I still have the lunge stored. I most likely going to be even able to survive a hit here, and I'm gonna have a great time now because I get rid of the hardest 2 answers basically for Morpeko. And when Morpeko has a shield advantage, there is not really a lot that can destroy this Pokemon. And so what we will see here is I can go for the Night Slash here again. Night Slash is going to be able to knock them out. We are gonna get farmed down, but I can go for another lunge. And this is going to do some super effective damage. It is going to be able to drop the opponent's attack. The opponent goes for a charge move. And with this small amount of health left, Morpeko is in a prime position to sweep, especially against a Bibarel in the back. Ariel is going to easily one-shot the opponent here. And that's going to be it for this game here. And we can move on now to the next opponent because guess what? Guzzlord doesn't like Thundershock. Next opponent, we will see a Mantine. So, not too great for us, but we're gonna be able to swap out of here into our own Greninja, getting out the Poliwrath. Again, not too great for us. I'm not too sure what's really happening here, but we will see the Night Slash coming in. We're gonna get the boost. I can go for another move at least, but we're still not in a position where I think, like, yeah, we're great. No, like, we are definitely in a spot where we have a bit of a tough time. Luckily, the opponent decides to actually go ahead and use a shield here, but they can debuff me. And this debuff actually is going to matter a little bit more. If I had Trailblaze, it would have been a bit better for me as well here for sure, doing super effective damage instead of neutral. But yeah, Cross Poison is coming through, doing some okay damage, but I'm kind of certain that I need to kind of rely on my Morpeko now. And I'm going to try to go for the full farm on here at this point, which is very, very risky, but it does work out. I have a ton of energy on this Pokemon. I can swap out of here. They're going to have the Feraligatr in the back, basically giving me the victory with this already because I can just go ahead and go for another charge move here. It's gonna boost my own attack. I don't really care too much about it. We will see that our Thundershock is adding up like crazy, and I will be able to go for another charge move afterwards, which is totally fine here. We'll see the Hydro Cannon. We're gonna see the Aura Wheel coming through on the CMP tile, boosting my own attack, allowing me to also get even again another form change in, and if I get to another Aura Wheel, I win immediately, and I will do exactly this as Morpeko is going to be able to sweep the opponent here. And you see already on how strong this team really is. Like, this team is absolutely insanity. We have a very neutral lead. To be fair, I don't know. It's a very difficult one to really play. They swap out into the Cloudsire. That's fine by me. I can swap out into my Greninja. Thanks to the debuff, I should be able to survive some hits here as well. I should be really in a position where I needed to shield anything. I hope that I can fully farm them down here after the Hydro Cannon, which looks like this is going to be the case, which is great. So we're gonna let the move go through here. We should be able to survive. I can align myself. But Feraligatr is still gonna be a bit of a thing in the back of my head where I think, oh, it's gonna be a bit tricky to deal with. Speaking of tricky to deal with. Yes, sorry, this team is not designed to counter Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is quite a difficult one here, as our best bet is our Ariados, and they swap onto the Feraligatr, and I decided to use a shield here, and I feel like that Ariados is my best Pokemon to use, but how do I use it really? I'm not too sure at this point. I'm gonna decide to stay in here, which I feel like in hindsight was mostly the wrong choice, but now I guess I'm just gonna have to commit and try to go for another lunge here to drop the opponent's attack even further and get some energy on my other Pokemon, but this is going to be such a difficult time for me. And as you can see here as well, the opponent is gonna still have to go for another charge move here. It's going to be the Hydro Cannon. We're gonna get knocked out, and it's down to now Morpeko against the opponent's Ferrothorn. I feel like I should have just swapped out earlier out of the matchup there for myself. And so yeah, now I'm in a very, very tough spot. I have to hope that they decide to use a shield here, and then I have to hope that I can still go for an Aura Wheel, which I cannot, and I feel like this battle was a winnable. I think I just misplayed it a little bit, which is fine, and we can now move on to the next opponent. Good game to the opponent though, well played by them. Victory Bell? Definitely a Pokemon that I did not really expect here today, but Tropius is coming in, so someone definitely doesn't care about any kind of Talonflame or whatever. Doesn't exist apparently nowadays. But yeah, we're going to swap out into our Morpeko, and I decided to let the move go through here. There's going to be the Leaf Blade coming through, and I think we should be able to knock them out with one Aura Wheel. Aura Wheel is doing so much damage. I would be very much surprised if the opponent can still survive this one, even though they have insane bulk. It is not enough bulk for it to survive. We're going to see here that they're not going to have the move Razor Leaf. They're running the other fast move of Magical Leaf, which is a bit better, I guess, nowadays after the Razor Leaf nerf, like I think 2 seasons ago or something. Definitely, since the Razor Leaf nerf, like you barely see any Razor Leafer, which I feel like is good. I feel like it is not something that is really needed to be as strong as it was. But yeah, as you will see here as well, we're going to try our best against this Morpeko. We can go for lunge, dropping the opponent's attack with that one. And I might be even able to... Nah, I'm not going to be able to survive an Aura Wheel here, right? A Psychic Fangs I would. But I decided to use a shield. It might be a bit risky. It is going to be the Psychic Fangs. But yeah, I can just go ahead and go for the lunge now, but I can also catch the move. And if they're going to be now fully energy dry, I will be able to outspeed them. I actually do outspeed them towards the Aura Wheel if they are energy dry. They were not. They decided to go for another charge move now, which is going to be the super effective. Never mind, it's Psychic Fangs. That was unnecessary. I think they would have been still able to go for another fast move. But you know what's also unnecessary? The opponent being able to swap out into their Victory Bell, allowing them to get a ton of energy, basically making it impossible for us to win. Or is it? I'm going to be able to go for the knockout here again. Cross Poison is going to connect. We don't get a boost, of course. And we are still going to be able to go for the lunge here. That is so important and so close. One more fast move would have lost us the battle for the opponent. Well played here, and we can move on to the final battle for today. We're going to have the Feraligatr against us. We can try our best to go for the lunge, as the opponent is going to decide to swap out of here. Let's see what they're going to swap into. It's going to be the Cloudsire again. Very likely to the team they maybe saw before already. But as you will see here, I'm deciding to swap out into my Greninja. We know that one Hydro Cannon is not going to be enough to knock them out from this range, kinda. But as you will see, Sludge Bomb is coming through. It doesn't one-shot us either, it would two-shot us. We have another Hydro Cannon coming in here for the opponent. This is going to allow us to get them kinda low. We are gonna use no shields here. Even though we have 2 of them, I'm still going to just let the move go through. It's going to be a Sludge Bomb. I can not farm them down, but I can maybe Thunder Shock them down. And this is exactly where I'm going to go here. And this is not working out. It's not working out. Man, I completely misplayed this one. If I just went into the Ariados, it would have worked out, but I didn't. And so they have the Chestnut in the back. Literally, if I just went into the Ariados, yeah, I would have been totally fine. Like, what was I thinking there? But sadly, I also was not thinking here, because I'm going to see Impede to the opponent. And it's just gonna get worse and worse. Like, it's literally just getting worse here for the final matchup. And I definitely could have played this so much better. And again, I feel like I would have been actually able to win every single battle here today if it was for me playing a bit better, which I didn't, which is fine, which is literally fine, but it showcases again how strong this team can be, and I feel like this is a very serious team, even though it was supposed to be a meme team and just be like the fastest of them all. But it's actually a team that I feel like has a lot of potential and it's a lot of fun to run. And while we might not be able to win this battle here, because maybe Hydro Cannon is just a bit too much for us, let's find out. It is going to be the Hydro Cannon, it is not enough, we're gonna still be able to survive. But the opponent Chestnut is going to take us out with that shield that they have left. I would have been able to definitely win those battles as well. But yeah, this is it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. This team is really, really good. Would recommend you test it out, and we'll see you then. Bye bye.